Hello. See if we are live. Let's have a look. Let's have a look to see if we are live. See who's here. If there's anyone here, let me know if you can hear me or not. Wait for some people to come in. Is there anyone here? Right, we've got some people coming in. Welcome everyone. This is the BeatStars Academy with Levi Beats, or Lee, aka Levi Beats. And today this show has changed. It's the time's changed. It's now at 2 p.m. EST, and we're only going for an hour today. So these shows are going to be an hour from now on each week. These shows we're going to go through some onboarding stuff for some new users, basically going through some basic stuff on the platform, get you up and running, and then we're going to try and maybe every other week or so pick a specific section of the platform on a pro page, and we're going to take you through those and give you some more insight and let you know how you can get up and running on these things. So I see we have a few people in here, so I hope everyone's really well. Hope everyone's had a great weekend. And let's start. So hopefully everyone can see my screen right now. It's good stuff. Yes, time to learn a little, Buffo. Definitely time to learn a little. Right, so for the new users that sign up, this is once you've signed up, this is kind of the first page that you will find yourself at, which is the once you've signed in, once you've logged in, this is the first page you will see, which is the dashboard. And the dashboard is kind of where you can see a lot of certain sections. You can get quick access to certain sections on your page or on the marketplace. So here, as you can see at the top here, you've got your stats, and then this is kind of your main dashboard here, where you've got some cool little features and functions that you can do, get yourself started, and stuff like that. Yeah, so this is basically the dashboard. I won't go over too much of it because I want to show some new users how you would basically start up and the best things to start off with, best things to do once you've first got your BeatStars account set up. So the first thing I would suggest that you do is to go into your You section, which is this section at the top here, and usually have your profile picture if you've already put a profile picture up on your account. And then you will scroll down to your account settings. Now, obviously, there's a lot of information here. There's a lot of different menus and stuff that you can access, but we can talk over those at a different time. Just to let you know, up here is what you will see your subscription is. So as you can see, I've got the pro page subscription. So if you've got the marketplace or if you've got a free account, that will appear up here. So I would go to the account settings and just go through all of these menus and just make sure that you filled out all of your information. So the first one that you would come to is your profile information. So as you can see here, my display name, I don't know why that says Lee for some reason. Let me just log out and log back in to make sure I'm in the right account. I think I'm in the wrong account. Strange. So let me go back to the section again, account settings. There we go, right. So as you can see, this is your display name. So you can have your username and display name set different, but I would suggest to keep it the same. So you can see that's Levi Beats. Put your location in. It's not, I wouldn't say that's overly important, but it's kind of cool to know where, to let people know where you're from. And then a biography. I would just like put a brief description in there about what you're about, you know, maybe what kind of genre of music you're into, what kind of genre of music that you produce. And then if, you know, if you've had any credits or anything like that, done any work with anyone, it's kind of a cool thing to add in there. So as you can see, that's what I've kind of done here. This is where you would have your password. So if you wanted to change your password, you can do that here. You stick your old password in, stick your new password in, and go ahead with that. That's your email address. If you wanted to change that, you can change that here. That's your username. As you can see earlier, you know, I was saying try and keep it the same. Any of these that you change, you will have to enter your password in just to confirm that. Social logins, we can touch on that another time. This is where you can add all your social accounts so people can find you on your social media accounts. These social media links, again, this is just subscription. So this is where you would see your plan. You can manage your payment methods, and you will also see when your next billing date is due, which is kind of a good thing to know, you know, just so you can set yourself up, make sure you're okay. Some billing information. So this is where you want to add all of your details for your invoices and stuff like that. And some basic info. Your discovery. So this is a cool feature if you want to add any Spotify links. So if you've released any tracks, or if you've produced any tracks, or engineered any tracks, or had any involvement in any tracks that's been distributed, this is where you can add them, and these will show up on your about section on your account. And if you've got a pro page, it will show up there too. Yeah, definitely Buffo. And this is your notification settings. So this is where you will see all of your, where you can select where you want your notifications to come to. So you can have push notifications, or you can have both email and push notifications. So this is kind of where you can select which ones you want to receive and which ones you don't want to receive, which is kind of good. So yeah, I would basically go for that. Just make sure you've set all that stuff up. You get yourself up and running on that side of things, and just make sure your account settings are correct. Once you've done that, yeah, just to touch on this, this is kind of your My Media. This is where your hub is for all your content and some of the other stuff that we can get into as well. You can go in and get more information on your sales, your stats. You can get directly to the dashboard again from here. Payment accounts and so on and so forth. So the next step I would do is I would go to the payment accounts and make sure that you've got a payment account connected. So currently we offer PayPal or Stripe. So this is for you to receive payments for any sales that you make. So I would highly recommend, obviously you're going to have one at least, but I would highly recommend, if both of these payment options are available in within your location, I would suggest having both. It just gives the buyer a lot more options. Stripe is more so for kind of credit card payments and stuff like that. PayPal, you can sign in as a guest and make sales, but I would suggest having both if you can. So yeah, I would at least link PayPal, because you need to do this to even make any sales. So what will happen is, if you don't add a payment account, obviously for starters, you wouldn't be able to make any sales, but any of your clients that are trying to purchase your tracks, once you've uploaded some tracks, they would not be able to add them to the cart. So that would cause you some problems, obviously. You know, if your clients are not able to add your beats and your tracks to your cart, your songs to your cart, to their car, they'll probably just walk away, because, you know, they've not been able to purchase anything, and they suspect that there's an issue there. So make sure you've got a payment account connected. I would actually do this even before you upload any tracks. This would be kind of once you've gone through all of your account information, make sure you've got your display name and everything set up correctly how you want, got your logo up there. I would make sure that this is the second thing that you do. Make sure you have a payment account connected. And then once you've done that, this is when then you can start adding your tracks, which is kind of straightforward. We can go over these processes. You know, what I might do is maybe next week is I will have set of tracks set up, and I will go through the process of how you upload a track from start to finish, including, you know, your visuals and stuff like that, all the metadata and stuff like that. So that's kind of once you've done that, we'll go through that one. Then I would also go to your selling preferences after you've done your payment stuff. Or maybe actually do this before you upload any tracks as well. So this is where you can add your voice tag. Now, if you don't have a voice tag already, or if you're in the process of getting one, you can use the BeatStars will the BeatStars voice tag will default. So any tracks that you upload for streaming purposes, the BeatStars tag will play across your tracks. If you didn't want that to play across your tracks, you can upload your own if you have one. Can you guys still hear me well? Hopefully you can. Obviously, if you have any questions, make sure you ask some. Hopefully we're still running. Good stuff. Yeah, so this is where you can add your voice tag. Just to reiterate on that one. Good stuff, Buffo. Thanks, man. So this is kind of prior to uploading your tracks. You can set up some general default metadata information. So this is more so if you're uploading the same kind of track or the same kind of beats all the time. So if you're, if you know that you only create R&B type beats, you can, set up this information. And what will happen here is every time you create an upload or you create a new upload, what will happen is this metadata or this information will already be filled out for you. So it's kind of making your job a little bit faster. And it's also good if you're kind of uploading bulk, which you can do also, which we can go over that too next week. But you can bulk upload. And this is a cool way to be able to have all of that information already filled out. Kind of makes your job a little bit easier, Excuse me. So just to go through a couple of these drop-down boxes. So this section here would be, you can choose when you would want to release the track. So the majority of the time, I would suggest to leave it as immediately, but you can change these. You can change it to tomorrow, day after tomorrow, 1 week later. But you can also, once you're in the track editing page, you can actually set specific dates and times. Again, we can go over that in the session where we go over, a full track upload. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we'll definitely go through that. Definitely, for sure. So these are the genres you can pick. So again, just going back to what I said, if you're, let's say for argument's sake, you only create hip hop beats, right? So every beat that you make, every beat that you're going to upload is a hip hop beat. This is where this would come in handy. Now, I suppose most producers, they kind of, mix genres and they make some different kind of stuff. But there are producers out there that, are creating kind of one style of genre. So this would be kind of handy and fitting for you guys and girls. You can also pick subgenres. That may change. So, this can be quite handy if you want to, if you're uploading a specific genre. This is also where you would fill out your publishing information. Now, this information is what gets inputted onto your licenses. So when you sell your beats, your clients will receive a license, and within that license, it will have this information in there. And this kind of just helps them to know when they're releasing the track that they can find you. Obviously if you've registered to so this is for a PRO, so this is for your Public Performance Association. So I would suggest that you anyone that's uploading beats, anyone that's creating music, I would suggest that you sign up to one of these, your local one. My local one is PRS, but for those of you that are in America, there will be ASCAP and BMI, and there's a few a few different ones around the world. So I would definitely suggest doing that, and then you can put your information in here. And the reason, as I said, going back to what I said, the reason for that is when someone finally, releases a track to one of your beats, a full song, they've got your name, and then they can search for you through the search process on these platforms to find you, so that everyone can get their publishing royalties correctly and everything's registered correctly. So yeah, you would want to make sure that you input that information, and this is where you would put it. And this is some selling preferences information. So this is kind of where your pricing would be set up, but I wouldn't change anything here because that would be related to your licenses, which we can go over quickly in a second. But what I would mainly use this feature for, or this section, is for the free download options. So this is where you can select if you want to offer free download options. You can obviously change this within the track, the actual track section, track editing page, but this is where you can set it as it's a default. So this will be for every time you upload a track, you can have this selected. So as you can see here, I've got it selected as yes with a voice tag. You've got three options. Well, you've got four options there. You can either select no. Again, this is not. This won't be. This is not setting up every track. This is just default metadata. So this is what will show up when you upload a track. This just kind of makes it easier if you know that you're going to be uploading offering free downloads for your for visitors and clients with a voice, a track with a voice tag, without a voice tag, or no, basically. So I have it set at yes with a voice tag, which is something that I would recommend, just because it's going to protect your content. You can also allow anonymous guest downloads. I wouldn't necessarily suggest doing that. I mean, it's entirely up to you. But this basically means that they can download any of your free content without giving it any of their information. So basically, they won't have to follow you on social media, and they won't need to supply, give you their email address. So I always leave that unchecked. Then yeah, this is where you can select whether you want to capture an email only, or you can get them to follow you on social media for one of your free beats, right? So you have the option of Twitter, SoundCloud, or your BeatStars account. You can select all three. I wouldn't necessarily advise that. I would maybe just pick one and just concentrate on doing that. At one stage, I had just BeatStars connected, and that was because I kind of wanted to build up my BeatStars following. And then I realized the benefits of having someone's email rather than actually having someone just follow you on social media, because they can easily unfollow you if they want to. So I would suggest capturing email only. And again, we can go over why we would do that in some other shows, and just to break down the benefits of having that email. Thanks, Buffer. Yeah, it's on Wednesdays. So yeah, so this would be your default preferences or your metadata for beats, and then you can do the same for songs. So if you're uploading songs, this would be for artists, or even some producers that may be releasing songs too. You can do the same sort of stuff in here as what you did with the beats too. So once you've got all this set up, obviously you're going to need to have some licenses set up to be able to sell any of your content. So that would be the next thing I would do. I would set up some licenses. I can show you where that would be. So again, this would be in your My Media section. And then you would head to licenses and contracts. And as you can see here, I've got 4 licenses set up, 5, including the exclusive one. For free members, you will get the use of 2 licenses. That will be 1 exclusive and 1 non-exclusive. For Marketplace, I'm not sure if there's a limit. Let me just double check that. Can't quite remember if there is a limit or not. Again, guys and girls, if you've got any questions, make sure you put them in the chat whilst I'm going through these. If you've got any specific questions, please feel free to ask. That's what I'm here for, to help. Let's have a look. Let's go down and have a look. I should know this already, really. Where are we? Right, so with the Marketplace plan, you have a limit of 4 licenses. So that will be 1 exclusive license and then 3 non-exclusive licenses. So you can see the benefits of having an unlimited license, because that means you can have as many licenses as you want. And I would suggest to maybe have around about 5, which is what I've got. So as you can see, I've got 4 licenses here and then an exclusive license. So yeah, so you would set up some licenses there. Again, we can go through these. We ain't going to have enough time today to go through an actual license and how we can set one up, but I can quickly go into one and just show you the kind of information that you will need to enter. GHD108. I have a problem with my domain name. It doesn't work when I click on the Pro Page 2 button. It doesn't work too. I think something went wrong with GoDaddy, but I followed the tutorial of BeatStars. GHD108, could you do me a favor? Could you email support@beatstars.com? Buffer, if you wouldn't mind, could you put that in the chat for me? Just put that email address in the chat. Anyone that's got any issues like that with some issues, within your account, please make sure that you email us at support@beatstars.com, and we will help you try and get your issues resolved. But I will also show you a section in a second where you can get some really useful information. We've created some tutorial videos and some articles, and this will be really handy for people, existing members, people that have been members for BeatStars for a long time, and also new members too. There's some really good, helpful information in there. So I will show you that in a second, but just going back to these licenses. So yeah, let's just head into one. So this is a standard license. So this is where you would kind of name your license. This is where you would set your pricing. You would enable your license here. For any non-exclusive licenses, I wouldn't suggest setting up a minimum offer. I just wouldn't do that. And this is for the album prices, which we can also go over at another time. These would be the kind of files that you would select. So when you're uploading your tracks, the best thing to do would be to just upload a WAV file, because we would automatically convert it to an MP3 file for you. But this is where you can choose which files your clients will receive when they purchase this specific license. So you get the option to allow an untagged version, or this is for MP3 only, or an MP3 version with a voice tag. Yeah, so that gives you that option there. Then you've got wave, and then you've got your stems. So your stems would usually be for like a higher priced license. So say the common practice here is you kind of would have an unlimited license, and that would kind of include the stems, and also an exclusive license that would also include the stems too. So those are the kind of licenses you would generally normally select that. Again, you know, that's entirely, all depends on what kind of licenses that you've created within your account. This is where you would give a brief description. Keep zooming in for some reason. And then this is kind of the feature list. This would be where you would add kind of what features comes with that license, which is a really, really good information to provide your clients. Kind of tells them, really briefly what they get with that license. I mean, they can actually, review the license before they purchase it. They can review the full license, which you can do that once they've added it to the car. But this is the information that they will see before they actually end up in the car. So it's really important that you kind of add as much information as possible so they know what they're getting. And this is where you would add some more information about, as you can see, this is kind of straightforward, number of distribution copies. So this would mean how many copies they can distribute with this specific license. As you can see, I've got selected 5,000, number of audio streams, number of free downloads, number of music videos. Most people leave that as 0, but I've got it at 1 for this one particular one. Yeah, and you would just go ahead and fill out all this information here. And then make sure you've also entered your location. Yeah, just make sure you've entered this information, state or province, so that would be your city, and then your country that you live in. This is kind of the coding, but if you wanted to go in, I believe, yep. If you this would be what would appear on your license, but if you wanted to go in and make some bigger adjustments and you wanted to do some specific customization with your licenses, you can do that. You can go into this full customization and it will give you everything. So this is actually a cool section that you can go in and read and get a bit more information about your licenses. Now, this is something that I would actually really suggest doing, not just for new users, but also, existing users too, or existing members. You want to really know what you are providing your clients. So you want to, if you get any questions from your clients about licenses, you want to make sure that you kind of know, so that you can, feed them that information and give them as much information as possible. So I would suggest reading through this and just, try to understand it as best you can. But again, going back to what I was saying, if you want to, make any specific changes, this is where you can do it. Now, if you're going to do that, I would severely suggest that you get some advice from an entertainment lawyer or an attorney of some sort before you kind of make any major changes to this. If you are unsure, I would just generally stick to the quick customization. But if you have specific requirements or you need some specific, setup within your licenses, this is where you can do it. So we offer you, we give you that option if you want to do that. So yeah, that's basically how you would set up a license. And there's a bit more into it, but read over that. There are some tutorial videos to give you a bit more information on, how to set up a license from scratch. But again, we can go over these kind of things in the sessions, and we'll, go over one from start to finish, so you get a better idea of, how we would do it on our side. So going back to what I said about the help section, so this will take you to get to that section. You would need to go to the use section again, which is this, which will be your logo or your profile picture, and then you would go down to the help section. I would again, this is kind of helpful for any new members, any existing members, people that have been on the platform for a long time. That's, there's a lot of information here. And it's constantly being updated. The information is very straightforward. It gives you a breakdown of how to do certain things, including uploading your tracks, creating licenses, and a load of other information. There's a hell of a lot of articles in there. So and some of them have tutorial videos too, so you can see stuff going on visually. Which is really, really good. Even to myself, I've been a member of the platform for a while now, and I still, head to the help section quite often, actually, still myself, just to go over a few things and just make sure that I'm on top of everything, because things are constantly changing all the time. So that's always a good section to head to. If you have any questions, obviously you can always reach out to us at support@beatstars.com. Always, we're here to help. But if you like to do things yourself like I do, I like to find out, try and help myself out first. This is kind of a good section to go to do that. Yeah. So any of you guys got any questions? Feel free to ask, fire away. That's what I'm here for. Fire some questions at me. See if I can help you. Whilst I'm waiting for some questions to come in. Lee flying solo today. Yes. I'm going to be doing these shows on my own now each week. We're only doing them for an hour. But we're going to kind of try to go in depth on certain things each week. Yeah, and try and help you guys out as much as we can. So I'll tell you what, let's go back to the dashboard. So we've set up all our account details. We've connected, integrated a payment account. We've uploaded a voice tag, say for argument's sake. We've set up some licenses, and then we're going to start uploading some tracks. We've uploaded some tracks. People are starting to view our stuff, and so on. So going back to the dashboard, this is probably one of my favorite sections. Apart, there's a lot of these sections are my favorite sections, but this one in particular is something that I've been using a lot lately. It's just this basically the stats, these quick stats here. It's really cool to get some information about, how many plays you get in, how many new followers you get in, how many people are downloading your free content. This is just a brief overview, obviously. If you want to get into more detail and see a few more stats, you can click on this link up here, which says show all stats. You can click on that, and this will give you a graph, and it will give you a bit more information, and then you can filter out to yesterday, today, this week, this month, last 7 days, last 14 days, and so on. Now, the week starts from Sunday, so this week you can see, as you can see, it starts from Sunday. You can see I had 126 plays on Sunday, and then today I've had 31. And this is where you can see which tracks have been played, which is really cool. Kind of gives you an overview of what what tracks people are playing the most. And there's a lot of good reasons why that would be useful. If you're you've uploaded a ton of tracks and you're starting to do advertising to promote your content, this will kind of give you a really good information about maybe which tracks to promote more. because that track, people are playing that one really well, and it's kind of popular. Yeah, so there's many reasons why you would how you would find this information very useful. You can also see who's playing your tracks, any of them that have got a profile picture or a name next to them. These users have got accounts, which is good, which means you can reach out to them via messaging if you want to. And then you've got guests. So this will be people that have just jumped onto the platform and just listened to your tracks without having an account. Here you can also find out which countries as well. So this is really good. I've been pleasantly surprised often. Let's just go to last 90 days. So as you can see, this information pops up really quickly, and you get a good graph, to see, how consistent you are with your plays. As you can see, don't know why that's up there. So yeah, so as you can see here, the majority of my fan base seems to be coming from the United States. And then there's 1K in the UK, 368 in Germany, and you can scroll through. There's tons of countries that are actually streaming my content. India, that's kind of a surprise for me. Brazil, Mexico, Netherlands, Poland. I mean, this goes on forever. What's that one? I was going to go to that, Turkey. So yeah, you can actually click on them. You can actually click on the country, and it kind of filters out into a bit more information as well, which is really good. You can go right in and check, delve in really deep to that specific country there. I picked France, and as you can see, these are the people in France that have been, these are the tracks that people in France, have been streaming, which is really, really good. Gives you a lot of information. So again, this is useful once you've built up a catalog and you've got, for your new users, built up a catalog and you're starting to see some data come in, people that are, streaming your tracks, listening to your content, downloading your free content, and all of these menus up here, you can select, and it kind of gives you the same information again. So as you can see here, I've had 1 like or 2 likes today, reposts, follows. These are people that have followed your BeatStars account, comments, anyone that's replied to your comments, mentions. This will be any mentions on social media, and then your free downloads, which is kind of a really important one. It's kind of tells you how many free downloads you've had over a specific amount of time and which tracks have been downloaded. So you can kind of work all this information out, kind of accumulate all this information together, kind of figure out what tracks seem to be working best for you. If you're going back to what I said earlier, if you're uploading one specific kind of genre, or, for someone like myself that's uploading, kind of a widespread of different genres, I can kind of see what genres are working best for me, at that specific time. That could change over time, but at this specific time, you can really dive in and get some really good information and data and use that, to do whatever you want. It kind of gives you that information for ads and, for all, a ton of different things that you can use that information for. So it's really good. So yeah, so that's kind of the stats section. Again, I would, suggest you highly delve into that, look into it. And as you know, I kind of look at this every day. It's kind of interesting to see which tracks are being played daily, what days, it's really cool. So I suggest, once you've built up a catalog, this is for new users particularly, look at this data every day. Kind of gives you an insight. to where, you know, where your fans are, who your fans are, what tracks are doing really well, like I said before. So it's really, really good. Got another 5 minutes or so, and then I'm going to go over and review some pro pages. So in fact, let me go back to the, I forgot to add the banner today, kind of ahead of myself. So if you want to submit your pro pages for review by myself, this is where you can submit them to. So this is the BeatStars.world website, and this is the actual specific link. I will actually post it in the chat as well, so you guys have got access to it. So that's the link to submit your pro pages for me to review them. And basically what I'll do is I'll just go over them. This is for people that have obviously got a pro page subscription. You get a pro page. So for the new users that, or for people that haven't got a pro page, you know, this is what we do. We review pro pages each week for the last few minutes of the show. So let's actually grab one for this week, and let's review one. So we have got, let me know if I say these wrong, and if you're in the chat, also let me know that you're in the chat. So this one we've got here, let me see if I can get the name right, is Harsh Sohi. So first impressions, yeah, I really like it. Coloring's really good. I like the background. You've got your logo up there, got your menus up there, bulk deals. That's kind of cool. I like what you've done with that. You've got your BPMs again, which is, you know, we've gone over this a few times already, but that's really important. You've got your tags. So you've got your free downloads available. It's really good. Got your licensing info available there. See that you're not offering an exclusive license. I would maybe suggest doing that. Again, it's entirely up to you, but that's good, Buffo. Yeah. Maybe you could, for any of those that have obviously submitted your pro pages previously, and that either me or Mike have reviewed them, and you want them reviewed again, you know, after you've made some changes, you know, feel free to submit them again. Obviously, we're going to go through some new ones this week, but if you've made any changes, yeah, like send them in again so we can review them again and see the changes, and you know, see what we feel that's you've done that's really, really good. Yeah, so feel free to do that. So yeah, going back to this pro page particularly, yeah, you've got your licenses set up there. The pricing is really good. I would suggest maybe offering an exclusive. Again, it's personal choice. It's something that I have because I feel there's a lot of artists out there, a lot of clients out there that would, you know, only particularly want to buy exclusives. So you may end up losing a sale because of that. So yeah, I would have that there. You got your subscribe to mailing list there, which is cool. You have your YouTube section set up, and you've got your contact form there. I mean, this is where you can have it as a fixed. So this is your subscribe to mailing list. You can have it as fixed or pop up. If you're going to have your contact form, I would maybe suggest having this as a pop-up. So when people enter your page, this comes as a pop-up. Again, this is just my personal preference. This is what I have. I have both on my page. You have them quite close together. So I would, yeah, maybe have that as a pop-up. Again, it's personal choice. That's what I would personally do. What else have we got here? So you haven't got any services on that set up. And I also see that you've got your Facebook Messenger not set up yet. I would definitely suggest setting that up. And again, going back to what I said earlier, there is a help article that can help you set that up. And it's a really, really good feature. I've actually been finding it really useful. When that feature first came out, it's one of the first things, you know, I kind of did it straight away. And I've had some good success with that. So hopefully we'll get a pro page that's got one on it, so we can show you what we mean by the Facebook Messenger if you're not actually 100% sure about that. Yeah, so overall I really like this. I like the colouring. Yeah, it's kind of good. Just those couple of points there I picked up on there. Just you know, food for thought. Let's grab another one. So that was Hiroshi Beats. Let's grab this one. Cool. So this is Mr. Beats. If you're in the chat, Mr. Beats, hit me up. Let me know you're in here. Obviously, if you're not in here, you can go back through these videos at a later date. We store these videos on our Twitch account. You can go back and watch any of these videos. If you've, if I've been speaking too fast, you've missed some information. Yeah, feel free to go back and watch these. Definitely, for sure. So this is the Messenger, Facebook Messenger that I was talking about earlier. So this is basically goes directly to your Facebook Messenger. And this is really good. You can set up a logged in greeting and a logged out greeting. So if you're logged in, you can have a greeting that was set up. So, you know, the use for that would be is if you're, you know, setting up your specific times in the day when you're going to be working. So, you know, you can set it up when you're online, set it up when you're offline, kind of thing like that. Yeah, so let's talk about this pro page. Kind of like the coloring again, you know, it looks really, really good. Whoops. We went back. Really like this logo too. I would maybe, because it kind of seems like it's cutting off a little bit there. So even make, why does it keep doing that? So I'd even make the logo a bit smaller. Just so it kind of, it's not getting cut off there. And also I can see you've got some text here, which we can't really read. So yeah, it looks like overall you might need to just make this logo a little bit smaller, just so you can read that text there too. Or, you know, or if not, take the text away and just make that logo a little bit smaller. But that would be my advice to you. I can see that you're not offering any free downloads. Let me check to see if you've got. Looks like you're not. So I would maybe suggest, you know, having a couple of tracks selected as a free download. I personally select all mine now as free downloads. Yep, you got your tags there, you got your BPMs, or we always like to see that. You got your licensing, you got all your information, and that was something that I forgot to touch on the last one. You've got a couple of bulk deals going on there too, which is great. You've got your exclusive license as an offer there, which is good. Your YouTube section, and then you've got your subscribe to get 20% off. So that's for your mailing list. I kind of like that. That's good. Yeah, I really like this one. Kind of like the coloring. It's kind of bright, kind of hits you straight away. My only real points here would be to adjust that logo. the banner here. Make it smaller so you can see this text, and just so the top of that logo is not getting cut off. And I would maybe change the pixel rate, because it looks like for that logo there, it's kind of, you can't really see it. So I would maybe suggest doing that. Just looking at something, see if we've got any questions in here. Cool. Again, if you've got any questions, we've got a few minutes left. Just put them in the chat and I'll try and answer them for you. Yeah, so overall, I really like this one. Just a couple of points, like I said before. We've got time to maybe grab one more and quickly review that one. Been pretty good so far. Yep, so you got your messenger up there, which is good. Overall, it's looking pretty good. I like the colouring. I'm a sucker for purple, so I really like that. Kind of cool what you've done there. See, you haven't got a logo as such, but I would maybe suggest do that, some type of branding there. Got a featured track. Got your BPMs, which is good. You got your tags. You got your free download option. Okay, subscribe to mailing list. I would maybe move this licensing info and have that straight after your tracks, and maybe put that towards the bottom a bit more. Just kind of how I set it up. You kind of want your licensing information and your tracks kind of close together. It's just my personal opinion. Yep, you've got some good information there within your licenses. You've got a bulk deal there. You could maybe add a few more. I always say, you know, having around 3 to 4 bulk deals is kind of a good place to start. Got some services going on here, which is really good. See that? A blog, okay. Got a blog. Okay, yeah, I kind of like that overall. I like the colouring, it's very tight, neat and tidy. Yeah, just going back to what I said, maybe put your licensing info straight under your tracks, and to, you know, maybe have some sort of branding. I kind of understand why you've done that. It's kind of good. It's kind of first thing that people see. You've offered people bulk deals. Yeah, I mean, if it's working for you, obviously, you know, leave it as it is. If it's working for you currently, then, you know, that's great. We'll carry on doing that. But, you know, if it's not really doing anything for you, then try something different. Put a logo there, some sort of branding. But yeah, overall, I really like that. It's good stuff. So that's pretty much it for today, guys and girls. We've got another live session coming up after mine. It is the center stage with Mazzy and some guests. So, you know, make sure you jump onto that and join their live and see what's going on over there. Yeah, hopefully you've took some great information today. This is kind of the first session of me doing this new format. So hopefully next week we will have, you know, we can go into some stuff in a bit more depth for those, you know, well, for all users really. You know, maybe we'll go in and set up some bulk, upload some bulk tracks and stuff like that, and show you how to do that. And yeah, we'll just go through some stuff like that. And then each week, we'll try and go through some different sections on the marketplace and pro pages and stuff like that will help you guys, and some stuff that I do personally myself as a BeatStars member that might help you guys get up and running and start seeing some success, So hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's show. Again, feel free to go back and watch the video again if there's any information that you've missed or I've gone too quickly. And there's some sessions from like the previous ones we've done too. So all the sessions that we're doing are recorded live, and then you can go back and watch them. Cool. Again, hopefully you've enjoyed today's show, and make sure you tune in next week, and make sure you continue to tune into our live shows. And thank you for joining my show. Appreciate it.